Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. So excited that you chose to watch this one. This is going to be a good one. This is a heavy rotation video. I haven't done one in a month. Can't believe it's been that long. But I started looking around and seeing records pile up, and I'm like, you know what I need to do is another heavy rotation video. So I did this video this morning, and my microphone messed up somehow, and it didn't record any audio. So I got to do it again. So I need to get a new microphone. It's been years, so I probably need to invest in another one. So I got some things that I recently acquired. I got some great things. I got some things that I've just been enjoying from my collection that I've been trying to get back to just listening to what I already have as opposed to only trying to find new things. You know what I mean? So, but I will say I did get some absolute insane good records. I feel like the reason I haven't done a heavy rotation is because I feel like I've not really been buying that much lately, but you know how it is. I have been. I have not been out looking on like eBay and Discogs and stuff like that. I've not been searching things out, but things have been finding me, which happens. So it's not my fault. Anyway, so I've got a couple absolute bangers right up here at the top. This one is strictly from Hunger. This is an absolute incredible psychedelic rock record. It is heavy psych, and what I mean by that is, you know, there's kind of two different veins here. There's lots of different veins, but like early 70s hard rock that's like Sabbath influenced. There's a lot of that stuff, you know, that sounds like Black Sabbath, and it's not really psychedelic, it's just heavy. This is more psychedelic, but it's a heavy psychedelic, you know what I mean? Really good guitar solos, things like that. Fuzzy, aggressive, really good. There's a lot of amazing moments on this record. This is an original press. This one, a gentleman had a record store, and we've been talking back and forth, and he was trying to sell it, and, you know, obviously wanted a lot for it. These go for a ton. And we have been talking back and forth, negotiating for about a month on it. And so finally we came to terms, and I got it from him. He was very reasonable, man. So I got a good deal on that. Feel really good about it. Another one. So everyone always asks me, what is your top want? Your biggest want? And I won't tell you what my biggest want is, because if I do, I made that mistake with Farm. I told everybody that was my number one want, and I felt like it might help me find it. But on the contrary, what it did was a few people found copies, and they tried to charge me like out the wazoo for them, like huge prices. And then somebody wanted $3,000 for a copy, which it doesn't go for that. It goes for, you know, I won't say what it goes for, but it doesn't go for that much. And so I feel like it gives people a reason to kind of find one and upcharge me and all this stuff. And I just don't like telling people what my next biggest want is. Anyways, so that's the situation with this Big Daddy here. This is the Stark Reality Discovers Hoagie Carmichael's Music Shop. This was my number one want for a couple years. Since I found Farm and Fraction, there's been a couple, you know, Weed was up there that I really wanted. DR Hooker was one. I didn't even have it up there because I didn't think I'd ever find it, but I did. Anyways, but this was one that just eluded me like crazy. I just could not find a copy. And it was one of those records that almost seems like it would be findable, but I just could not find it. And had a couple people reach out, and they wanted the world for theirs, and just not things. Just the stars would not align. I couldn't get it. Finally got it. This is an absolute incredible record. This has been reissued, and the reissues are in print, I believe. Easy to get, and it's an absolute phenomenal record. It's been reissued by Now Again. It's crazy. So Hoagie Carmichael, he is a legendary composer. Composed a ton of stuff. Probably the most notable is Georgia on My Mind. He's the original writer of that. He wrote a song called Stardust. That's really good. That's pretty iconic. Anyways, he wrote a ton of stuff. This is back, like, he wrote Georgia on My Mind in the 30s. So he put a lot of records out. He even has, like, you know, the old shellacks and 78s and stuff. But like in the late 50s, he did a children's record. And so fast forward to 1970, his son, Hoagie Carmichael Jr., worked for a public broadcasting channel in Boston and wanted to make a children's show based off his dad's children's songs. So what he did was he took those arrangements and he hired this gentleman here, Monty Stark, to help him arrange them in a more modern way. He also hired John Abercrombie, Phil Morrison, and Vinnie Johnson on drums. John Abercrombie is a legendary jazz fusion guitar player. This record is absolutely insane. It's amazing. It does not sound like a children's record. And the inner gatefold is really funny. It's Hoagie Carmichael Sr.'s liner notes of what he thinks about this album, but it's out of this world psychedelic funk, and it is absolutely amazing. And it does not sound like a kid's record, but then there are like parts that they talk about, like some kids type things that you know, but everything else is just nasty, funky, crazy, fuzzy guitar solos. It's an absolute dream record, right? One thing that I'm a huge fan of is there's a YouTube channel called Fuse, which I think it probably still is a TV channel too. But when I was a kid in like high school, Fuse Network would play music videos, and it was more geared towards like the skaters and stuff. So more, you know, stuff that wasn't playing on VH1 and MTV as much, a little bit harder stuff, you know. But anyways, and so, but they have a YouTube channel, and they have this series called Crate Diggers, and they went around, and I think this was like 10 years ago, and they did like 30 or 40 videos with legendary DJs, producers, and stuff like that. And I highly recommend you just type in Fuse Crate Diggers and you'll see them. But they did one with like Gaslamp Killer, Egon from Now Again, trying to think, a ton of people, right? Great series, but almost, I would say at least half the videos somebody pulls this record out and they're like, you got to have this record. It's killer breaks, all that stuff. So that's a mega grail. I've always wanted it. Super stoked to get it. Here's a few more mega grails. I was watching somebody's channel the other day. Usually when I watch people's channels, that they probably don't know that I'm watching or anybody. I do feel like people, maybe I just feel targeted, but people are like, oh, these guys that are just talking about grails all the time. You know, people are all, you know, it's fun. It's just fun, guys. A grail is a record that you've really looked for forever and you're excited to get. It is what it is. It's just fun. It's excitement. Have fun with it. Really good buddy of mine. I've sold a lot of records to him over the years, but he's never sold me any. He was trying to make some quick cash, and he pitched me a biggin. Right. This one is... I don't think I'm going to say the name of this album, but I will show you the name. I just try to... that top word there, that's the name of the band, and both words is the name of this album. It's an amazing record. UK Psych, out of this world. This is a first UK press. Really good fuzz guitar. This has just got that really quintessential UK Psych sound. Like I said, first press, the textured cover, Morgan Bluetown. It's a great label, a lot of great stuff on that. But this is just this is a record that I never ever thought I would see, so I got the reissue. It's been reissued, and the reissues are available. Sometimes on my Whatnot, I'll throw reissues on there. It's just a really solid Psych record. This first UK, it's a big one. Another one I got from was this Svandifer, What's Hidden There. This is an absolute killer private press record from Iceland. One you just absolutely never see, and I've been listening to this, streaming it for years, hoping that I could just get a reissue of it, because it's been just not been reissued and really hard to get. And you know, the originals are this private press in Iceland, so how are you gonna find one? But he had one he was willing to let go, and this is a super clean copy. Absolutely fantastic. Thrilled to add this to the collection. This is one to check out if you've not heard it. And also, if y'all haven't seen that video I did one a few videos back, and it's 20 records from 20 different countries. And I put some absolute heaters in there, and that video is just not getting any love. So if you haven't seen that one, check it out. It's dynamite. Next one is Magi, Win or Lose. This is an original press. Really, really killer hard rock psych record. Love this record. It's kind of raw, bluesy type, you know, really good guitar work, stuff like that. And then this one I also got from him, which is not like the others. This is a Chris Cornell songbook, original press. It's got that Grimey's $31.99 price tag on it. So it's a first press Chris Cornell. Love that record. feel like most people probably heard of that album, but you know, it's a lot of acoustic, Soundgarden stuff, Audio Slave stuff, and he covers a bunch of stuff too. It's amazing. Another one I got from a buddy of mine, the Identicals Rock Exponent. This is really good psychedelic African funk from, I believe it's Nigeria. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's from Nigeria. Really good stuff. This is on some of those like Killer African Now Again comps. And obviously I got the Love Supreme UHQR, which is outstanding. This popped up for pre-order a week ago, I don't know, and I was so on it. They only made 10,000 of these. I think they've been doing 25,000 of everything. They only had 10,000 of these. And this is worth checking out. I love this record from the moment I first found it. It was one of the first jazz records I really got into. And just this pressing is the best I've ever heard it. It's 45 RPM. Sounds spectacular. You guys know how I feel about the UHQRs. You know, and I will say this, you know, a lot of people are like, why does it cost so much? A record shouldn't cost that much. You know, that's it, you get what you pay for, you know. If you want to pay $16 or $15 for a wax time reissue, you can, and you'll get a crap sounding recording. But you don't walk into a Lamborghini dealership and say, cars shouldn't be this much. Why, $275,000, I could buy a Toyota Camry for 25 grand. You know, it's a different thing. This is luxury. It's top of the line. If you want those bells and whistles and a really good quiet sounding record, it's fantastic. It's been, you know, the licensing is expensive on these things. The way that they do it, there's a lot of, and I've talked to Chad Kassem a lot, and he's kind of let me know just the process and how much things cost. I mean, it's crazy some of the things they have to pay for, and that all goes in the cost of this record, and it's worth it. It's just the way they do it is the best way to do it. It's the best sounding record I've ever heard in my life. Like I said, it's one of those things, a lot of people complain about the cost of it, but I mean, you don't hear anybody complaining about the cost of Lamborghinis. That's all I'm saying. It's the Lamborghini, all right? All right, that's my rant. That's my rant for the day. We'll go through. So, really, I've gotten the chance to see some concerts here lately. Gotten to see some really good ones. The one I just saw was Government Mule. This is autographed by the whole band. This is Like a River, their new record. Listened to this one time, really liked it. It's on par with a lot of their stuff in later years. But they did a Dark Side of the Mule tour where they did a bunch of like Pink Floyd covers, and it was out of this world. The light show, the lasers, all that stuff was amazing. Really, really impressed with it. And they did an album, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and it was Dark Side of the Mule, and it was all that. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. And when I heard they were doing that tour, I was like, I gotta be there. And who opened up for them was Jason Bonham, Led Zeppelin Experience. So it was Jason Bonham, and then a bunch of guys that played just like Zeppelin, and it was dynamite, really good. That was great. And then my wife surprised me and bought me tickets to Swell season concert in Durham, which Durham's a couple hours from where we live, and so it was kind of a treat. She's like, you know, take some time away, get some rest. She got me a hotel, Airbnb actually, really nice like loft, and she said, I got you a front row seat to this concert, go enjoy. So she did it. She knocked it out of the park. So long story short, the Swell season is made up of Glenn Hansard and Marketa Irglova, and they are that's Glenn Hansard, that's Marketa Irglova, and they were a part of a movie called Once. It came out in 2007. When that movie came out, I was in such a transitional time in my life. I was becoming a man. I was graduating high school, was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. I was in love with this girl. I didn't really know if it was going to work out. And that's my wife. She was out of my league, like way out of my league, still is. But and this movie is just so, it's got that angst, you know. The romantic angst is so heavy on it. So, anyways, all that to say, I was obsessed with this movie. I never really played acoustic much. I mostly played electric at the time. And hearing Glenn Hansard, I wanted to be him. I was obsessed with him. His guitar playing style, everything, it blew my mind. I was absolutely obsessed. And he's a great songwriter, all that stuff. And these songs are so incredible. And when me and my wife did get together and we started dating, we listened to this album nonstop. This is pretty much the soundtrack to the movie. It's got all the songs on it. It's amazing. So fast forward, every once in a while when I'm in the mood for it, I'll pick up the album, I'll listen to it, but I haven't listened to it probably in a couple years. So I purposely did not listen to the album, and I wanted the nostalgia to hit me in person. I don't know why, just the way that's the way I wanted it. And I got there, and man, it was amazing. I had this best seat in the house, front row. Glenn Hansard's right there, and it's just it's funny because most people probably don't know who Glenn Hansard is. He ran in the same circles as Damien Rice. I think Damien Rice was a little bit more well known, but I mean, he was just an idol of mine, and he's just right there. It's so cool. I haven't gotten seats that good for a concert in a long time. So, anyways, at the merch stand, they had this, which I already had a copy, but they had these, which I'd never seen. It was on this splatter vinyl. So I grabbed that because I wanted to get one from the tour. And they did this album, which I actually didn't know. I mean, I knew they did it, but I never really listened to it. This came out in 2009. They had these in the merch table, and I think these were on some sort of color vinyl. I'm not sure. And then Marketa Irglova, the piano player, female vocalist, she did this album, which I've not heard, but I'm really excited to dive into. So anyways, the concert was amazing. It was one of the absolute best concerts I've ever seen. I would struggle to name a better concert. I'll say that. It was so intimate, so raw. The whole movie and their music is so raw and emotional. Everybody in the room was hanging on every word. I mean, there was such, you could just feel it, man. It was just so heavy, and the connection. And I turn around and look, and it's a theater, so there's 3 levels behind me, and everybody is just on the edge of their seat. It's just so intimate and cool. It was really cool. And then, so my favorite song, I'm going to shut up about this, but my favorite song that is on that album is called Say It To Me Now. You got Glenn Hansard at the beginning of the movie, and he's busking on the streets, and he's singing this song that's such a raw, guttural, emotional song, right? But it's not even it's a minute and a half. It's not even a full song. But anyways, that's my favorite part of the whole movie. It's the favorite thing he's ever done, is that little minute and a half. And so, but I was like, they probably won't do it because they got the whole band and everything. After the encore and everything, lights are out. The spotlight comes on him, and he steps to the front of the stage, all the very tip where he would have taken one more step, he would have fallen off. And no sound system. He didn't have the microphone plugged in, his guitar, anything. And he sang it just as loud as he could, just raw acoustic, no accompaniment from anybody or a sound system. And it was so awesome. So good. Anyways. But while in Durham, I did some digging, as I do. I went to Carolina Soul, which was great. And I got a t-shirt there. I didn't have a lot of time by the time I got to that point, but I did do some digging. It was great. I went to Bull City Records, which was across the street, and they had some really great stuff in there. They have a Grail section or rare, and I just was like, okay, let me look at this. And this one, Jonesy, Keeping Up. Jonesy's great. It's on this Dawn label. They have another album, I believe it's called No Alternatives. But I have that record, and it's really killer. And this one, it has a little bit of a water mark right here you can barely see, but other than that, it's super clean. Really excited to see it there. And it was priced right on the money, and then when I got to the register, he ended up giving me some. And I didn't even ask for a discount, but he gave me a discount because he's like, this has been sitting for a while. I'll give you $10 off. So it was nice of him. Very nice gentleman. Excited to dive into this. Really good, in that psychedelic vein. This one is Magic Mushroom Band, Process of Illumination. I have never heard of this, but the cover was so dope. I've just bought it sight unseen. I've never heard of it, don't know anything about it. I'm excited to cut into that one, and I'll let you know. This one is C.O.B. Moyoshi McStiff and the Tartan Lancers of the Sacred Heart. So this, the originals of this are thousands of dollars, I think. They're really expensive. This is a numbered to 1,000 radioactive reissue. It was $25, which I felt like was a really fair price. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But I don't know that I'll ever own an original. So I was like, I need to grab the reissue. And sometimes I'll buy things I wouldn't normally buy if it's a small shop like mine. I'll go in and I'll just splurge a little bit to bless them, and you know, it's fun. Give me an excuse to buy records I don't need. But sometimes when you're having a slow day at the shop, you need somebody to come in and blow some money. So it's kind of nice for everybody. On the way up there, I stopped in this small little town, this small little shop. I'm not gonna say what the name of it is, and I'm not talking bad about it. It was just an interesting experience. Everything was priced like super high. They had a Michael Jackson Thriller for $75. You know, everything was kind of like mega expensive, and he didn't really have anything good. And I was kind of on a time crunch, and the guy's like, "What are you looking for?" I was like, you know, I'm into everything, but I'm looking for like psychedelic rock, stuff like that. He's like, "Oh, I got just the thing for you." He's like, "Have you heard of this band Iron Butterfly?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard of them. Pretty good." You know, I was like, "I think I have that one." And he's like, "What about, you know," I don't know, I can't remember what else he brought up. Oh, he's like, "Steppenwolf." So yeah, I think I've heard of them. But anyway, so there wasn't a whole lot in there, but I was looking at the jazz section and I found this. Gerald Wilson Orchestra, Moment of Truth. This isn't like a mega grail or anything like that. This one is on blue vinyl. I don't know if you can see. And it's got some hairlines. It's not in the best shape. They did a tone poet of this, and it's a really good record. This was $15. I got it for $15. Another one was this Ornette Coleman, Change of the Century. And this is really clean, 62 mono. And it is like the disc's really clean. There's a couple of hairlines, but it's clean for one of these original Ornette Colemans, or early Ornette Colemans. It's not a first, but anyways, $15 on this. Couldn't pass it up. It was great. So it was kind of cool. The guy was really nice. He's an older gentleman. We were just kind of shooting the breeze, and we just didn't have a whole lot of common, you know. He was probably in his late 70s, and you know, he was like, "How many records you got at home?" I was like, "A lot." He's like, "How many's a lot?" I was like, "I probably got 5,000 or more." And he's like, "I'm not going to have anything in here you need." He was funny. He was really funny. What came in the shop the other day was, well, let me show you first. So you guys saw my trip down to Florida. I went to Tiger Records. Tiger Records was awesome. When you go in a shop like that, you just want to support them. You want to see, like, I mean, it's such a great shop. They don't need my help. They're doing great, I'm sure. But I'm just like, man, I want to put my money into, like, making their business. If I can do anything, I want to, because they're so good. It was just such a, it wasn't even that, I mean, they did have great stuff. They had a ton of great stuff, but just the vibe in there, and the staff was really nice, and the guy running it was such a sweet person, and it was just so good. I really enjoyed the shop. Anyway, so the guy running it, I didn't know this, but he was in a band called Bane, and this is called Give Blood. This is this is like an anniversary edition that they did. They put up a pre-order on it. Never heard it. Pre-ordered it. Done. It's this really cool color vinyl. It's this like Quadro sleeve thing. The vinyl is this orange and yellow, or orange and white, sorry. My brain's all over the place today. But it's just like folds out and then to this like plus sign. It's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna pull it all out. But and then I started kind of listening to the band, and they're like that early 2000s hardcore stuff that I really do like. I just wasn't so into it that I would know it, you know? And the band was really good. So I got this, was really excited about it. I've been listening to it a lot, and I've been kind of diving a little bit more into it, and it's just so good. And I just, you know, when you meet people that are doing it right, you just want to support that, you know? Some things that came in the shop. This is Fields. I've been wanting this record for a long time, and I just never had one come in organically, and haven't wanted to go online for it. And so somebody brought it in. I'm going to listen to it and see if I'm going to keep it. From what I remember, it's a pretty good record. But it's just one of those, it's not a high dollar record or anything like that. I just haven't had one come in. Somebody brought this in, this Meters trick bag. This thing is smoking clean. Cleanest Meters record I've ever seen. So I upgraded my copy and kept that one. This GTO's Girls Together, Outrageously, Permanent Damage. I had an original copy of this already, but this was a white label promo, so I had to keep it. Really good stuff. I mean, depends on who you ask. It's kind of out there, you know. It's on that bizarre Zappa label. But it's good stuff. All right, we're winding down here. We're gonna do some rapid fire stuff. I've been going into my collection and getting stuff that I really enjoy and listening to, and trying to enjoy that stuff. And also, all that stuff from the Florida collection is just sitting there. And so I'm trying to enjoy that stuff too and go through all that. One from that is this Weldon Irvine Sinbad. Follow my Instagram channel or my Instagram page. Find this record. I'm going through, when I listen to my records, I'll post about them. And this is one I just posted about. It's absolutely out of this world. Amazing. Weldon Irvine, killer, jazz funk, amazing stuff. All of his records are top notch, incredible. Stoked to have this one, and I've been listening to that one a lot. Another one. So I'm going through watching that Crate Diggers series again. I watch it about once a year. And I was watching the Gaslamp Killer one, and he pulls out this record, and I was like, man, I think I have that record. I think it was in the Florida collection. I'm pretty sure it's out there. And I ran out here to my room and just started digging, and it was there. And I listened to it, and it's like got this real cool, like Turkish vibe, little like Turkish funky type. It's hard to explain, but there's some breaks on this. I think Dilla sampled this. Really cool record. It is Les Mogul, and this Dances at Riptime. I can't tell you. But it's cool. Screenshot it. Look it up on Discogs. I'm not going to pronounce it. This is one I need to talk about. Dang it. So much stuff. Mike from the In Groove did this exclusive, and it's amazing. It's the Folks on Prism. Great record. Really killer. Phoenix Private Press Psych record. You go watch this video about it. He did a whole video about the guy that came in his shop. This guy comes in his shop, and he's been wanting to do exclusive for a long time, or repress it or something, because it's just like criminally out of print. It's a fantastic record. These are probably sold out by now, but super glad. That's another one. You got to support somebody you like. I really like Mike. This 25th anniversary of Willie Nelson Teatro, buy that if you haven't already. It sounds great. It's been out of print. I've been wanting one forever. I found this in a collection the other day. This one is Salty Miller. This is Beach Music Records of Carolina presents Salty Miller. And it is just this amazing North Carolina lounge, funky little thing. It's great. This one I've been listening to. It's this Volcker Kriegel Spectrum. This is a record that you listen to it and it sounds like $1,000, but it's like 30, 40 bucks tops. I don't think they made them here. I think you can only get it from Germany. But I've been listening to this like crazy. Just one I've had forever. Fantastic record. Go seek that out. Talked about the band Charmer, the hard rock records that I got. That's on Tax Game label. This is a different band called Charmer, and it's like some killer funky funk, like lounge funk, similar to the Salty Miller one. And my son drew the cover. Just got this recently. Been wearing it out. Really good stuff. This one's called Home, POA. This is from POA Ministries. Don't know what that stands for. This is a Christian country rock record, which mostly sucks, but there are some killer guitar solos on here, so it's worth listening to. This is one I've been listening to like crazy. I've had it for a while. This is SOB, the Shades of Brown. Really killer speed funk. Love this record. How have I just now... This Black Sabbath Paranoid white label promo, just got this one. It's fantastic. Cramped Smell of a Female, First Press, Ugly Kid Joe, Ugly as I Want to Be. It's ugly as they want to be. Listen to this all the time in high school. It came out in 1991. It's a fantastic record. Anyways, thank y'all for watching this video. Got this killer one from Follow Me Please. I'm trying to keep it under 30 minutes, guys. This Amon Duel Yeti. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Got this in the Florida collection. Been listening to this like crazy. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. I've already taken up too much time. Hit me with a comment. We'll see you guys next time.